If you've ever thought, you know what would really hit the spot right now? How about a tentacled bodyguard or maybe a brooding minotaur husband? Then welcome, you're in the right place because today we're going to be talking about monster romance. Now, it might sound like a wild niche, but let me tell you that once you fall down that rabbit hole, it's all over. It happened to me. These stories, they're sexy, emotional, and sometimes they're surprisingly soft. So for this week's Romanceopoly prompt, we are stepping into the fall to the Amber Heights town, and we're going to be focusing on recommendations for the Krampus Night's prompt, which is to read a monster romance. So let's go. Welcome to Reading Under the Covers, a romance novel podcast where we chat, fangirl, and maybe even swoon over our latest reads. I'm Francesca from Under the Covers book blog, and today we are diving into the delicious, monstrous romance recommendations that are going to be perfect for the Krampus Night prompt on your Romanceopoly board. If this is the first time that you're hearing about Romanceopoly and you're wondering what the hell is it, so Romanceopoly is a year-long reading challenge where there is a board, and for 2025 it is themed as 4 different towns that are seasonally themed. Each town has 5 board challenges plus 4 optional holidays. And we are also doing seasonal readathons for every season of the year. If you want to find out more about the Romanceopoly Reading Challenge, I'm going to leave some links in the show notes down below so you can check that out and join us because there is absolutely still time for you to do that. Plus, coming up soon in the month of June, it's going to be our spring readathon, which you can join even if you're not doing the full Romanceopoly Reading Challenge for the year. But now on to Krampus Night. So this prompt is part of the optional holidays in the fall town, which is called Amber Heights. And for this prompt, what you have to do is read a book that has a main character that is a monster. So I have picked 5 monster romances with a variety of definitely non-human looking creatures, let's say. So it's not going to be your typical shifters and vampires. These are definitely non-human looking and something that's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't read one before, I definitely think you're in for a bit of a surprise. And if you've never wanted to read one, I think don't knock it until you try it because that was me. Now, if we're ready, let's get right into the recommendations. If you're in the mood for tentacles, Guarded by the Kraken by Cassie Alexander, because we got to start off strong with a Kraken romance. And our Kraken hero doesn't live in a pirate shipwreck. He is actually a professional. He's a literal Kraken bodyguard. His latest assignment is protecting a human scientist on a dangerous underwater mission, and the only way to do that is through a telepathic bond. He's emotionally closed off, and that is because he lost his mate before. But this bond between them forces him to feel everything that she feels, and of course vice versa. It's like a type of forced proximity, but it's all in your head. The emotional intimacy is off the charts. It is such a fun book. The story gives you a bit of healing and tension and of course, tentacles. It's slow burn but intense, and if you want a deeply emotional monster romance where the bond goes beyond the spice, then you'll definitely want to check out this grumpy bodyguard with many arms and even more baggage. Have you thought about trying bugs? Hear me out. Lessons with the Mothman by Catherine Moon is about this moth fae hero who is a little bit too emotionally repressed and a scientist heroine who really just wants to write a thesis about the sexuality of these other creatures and instead ends up getting seduced herself. So Elias is a rare Mothman and he is a consultant for the Monster Smash agency. He's been basically watching all of his friends fall for their human clients, and he's starting to feel a bit left out in that whole equation. Some of these feelings are things that he doesn't know what to do with, and he feels like maybe he should actually want to be in a relationship and have his own mate. Then our heroine, Victoria, she is focused and skeptical, and she's fully committed to not getting attached to anyone. But of course, Elias, this very attractive non-human, is helping her with her research. There's undeniable chemistry between them, and there is a bit of an awkwardness to Elias as well, but this is actually so much more in like a deeper story than you can even imagine. In fact, I've done a whole deep dive with Becky on her podcast, the Too Stupid to Live podcast, so go ahead and check that out if you want to hear us chat about this book. It was so much fun. So again, it's a truly deep and emotional book, and it does revolve around studying sexual relations of these monsters. It is playful, it's steamy, it's a bit chaotic in the best way possible. And I think if you want a monster romance that is a bit different, it's fun and sweet with some soft boy energy with wings and you want to have the answer to the question of what does a Mothman penis looks like, then you definitely need to pick up lessons with the Mothman. Up next, why not go for a minotaur? Bull Moon Rising by Ruby Dixon is perfect if you love a fantasy world with magical artifacts and underground ruins and a marriage of convenience with a rut. Bull Moon Rising is about Aspeth, who is a noble woman that is trying to save her family from ruin. Her plan is to join the Adventurers Guild and recover some arcane relics. The problem is that they don't let women in without a chaperone. And so naturally, she proposes marriage to a grumpy minotaur that is a guild member in need of a favor himself, except that our hero, he's huge, horned, and about to go into rut. Of course, he doesn't know that she's secretly nobility. So it's the perfect forced proximity, hidden identity, marriage of convenience, and a whole lot of tension. Ruby Dixon gives us this perfect fantasy setup. It's got high stakes, a little bit of humor, just to keep it fun, and of course without losing the heat. You're getting an emotionally guarded hero who turns soft for his mate, and a heroine who is resourceful, determined, and very good at pretending that she's not falling for her monster husband. Now, going back to the bugs, we have Ensnared by Tiffany Roberts. Now we're getting into a bit of darker territory here. Ensnared is actually the first book in the Spider's Mate trilogy. It's intense in all the best ways. Khitan is a spider-like alien that is living in the jungle, hiding from a queen who wants to claim him. Ivy is a human woman who ends up trapped there, and the moment he sees her, just something clicks. She's basically his fated mate, even if she doesn't know it yet. This one is very primal, protective. It's got all of those mind vibes. The bond between them isn't just emotional, it's instinctual. It's a little bit dark, it's very steamy, and it's definitely high stakes. If you're a mood reader who loves fated mates and a bit of like a survival story with big protective monster energy, then this one is going to pull you right in. Of course, also check your trigger warnings because this one does have some darker themes. And I'm going to close this one out with an upcoming book that's coming out in June, and I think that just by the cover, you're going to want to add this one to your TBR. I Think I'm in Love with an Alien by Anne Aguirre. So this is something completely different. It's kind of a nerdy sci-fi rom-com that's basically like Galaxy Quest meets Roswell with a side of online crush. Seeker is an alien stranded on Earth, blending in with humans and slowly losing hope of ever getting back home. Jeanette is the human equivalent of the alien fangirl. So she is obsessed with space. She has shelves of tentacle plushies, and she's felt like she's never quite fit in. They've been chatting online for months, and when they finally meet at Space Con, it's just as awkward and hilarious and sweet as you would expect. There's definitely spice, but this one leans hard into the adorable charm. It's perfect if you want to break from the more intense monster vibes. If your idea of the perfect mate cute includes cosplay, conventions, and an alien who's trying to hide his extra limbs, then I Think I'm in Love with an Alien will be your feel-good monster romance pick. So those are the romances that I have lined up for Krampus Night, and I hope that some, if not all of them, sparked your interest to add to your TBR. Remember, it's always a great time to read a monster romance. You don't have to wait for the fall. Whether you're in the mood for some emotionally scarred sea creatures, a running minotaur, or some awkward aliens, these will bring you all the spice, the angst, and the swoon-worthy romance and weirdness that we love about the monster romance genre. If you want to know more about monster romance itself, or if you want even more recommendations, I do have all of that on the blog, so I'm going to leave a couple of links for you to check out as well in the show notes. And I'll be back next week with another Romanceopoly recommendations episode. I would love to know what are your favorite monster romances, so leave those in the comments so we can all add more to our TBR. And if you're tuning in from YouTube, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss when we have new content up on the channel. But for today, that's all I have for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!